Hey guys, Coach Cato here from Icons Rugby. I put up a video the other week about team culture and then responded with, trust, team trust. And I got asked, I had a few inboxes and stuff and, had some conversations with people, and it came out that honesty was one of the main answers that I kept going to when people are asking questions. They were asking questions on, well, how do you know when you have trust or you don't trust? And then they were using other things. So that was one. And then there was another one around, well, one coach asked me, how do you actually create trust? And it got me thinking, because I'd already done this, but not thought about it in a way to give it to other people. And the first thing that came out of, these conversations was, well, honesty is a big thing. And, there was always rebuttals around, well, my guys are honest. And it got to me that honesty in a team environment is not the same as an individual environment. So if I speak to an individual and he tells me something and I think he's honest, then I believe he's honest. So honesty in a one-on-one situation between people is normally given, okay? In a team environment, you can't give honesty, which is different because it has to be earned. And I touched on it a fair few times in that video about trust last week. And, it kind of got me going around the honesty thing. And I bring it back to this small, training's the easiest example. I'll give training the easiest example and I'll break out into a few. So if I was to give you, 50 push-ups and one person in the team does 49, that's not honest. Okay? If I'm to give you a gym program and everyone's doing a gym program, and then at the end of it, I ask how many guys gave everything they had and could not give me 1% more. And some guys answer yes, but others think, and some guys answered no, okay? You're going to get that. Then my next question is, how many people here believe that someone just lied? Super confrontational. You'll struggle to get someone to put their hand up, but do it. Because if you don't want to do it in a team environment, maybe start individual and then build it into a team. But if one person thinks, well, I think Johnny B. Honey over there lied. I don't think he gave everything because I saw him 2 weeks ago do more. There you go. You're not honest. You're not honest. That you don't have honesty in your team. Because if you believed from the instant that some people said, you know what, I didn't give it my all, yes, I gave it my all, then from face value, you take them as being honest. Because why would someone lie in that situation? You're giving them an out. Yet then ask your team, do you believe those people? Do you honestly think they could not give any more? And you'll get people who go, you know what, no, because I've seen different. And that is a cancerous situation in your team. And you can't do it all the time. You got to pick and choose when you use this. And, it's interesting because you can then go away and find ways to create honesty. You can do certain drills that keep people accountable, that show people putting in effort, that give individuals opportunity to, exceed expectation. All right. And now with a team who thinks everyone is honest. So if I was to go and chat to one team member and say, do you know what? Do you think Johnny's given us everything this week? And he goes, man, he couldn't give us anything more. I've never seen him train so hard. Could you imagine what that psychological effect has the following week between those two team members? You watch them bond. You watch them go, bro, I know you're giving it your all and I'm going to give my all back to you. Now you're starting to dwindle on something that is huge for me around honesty, which creates that brotherhood kind of feeling in a team. And when you have that, you are a superpower. But how do you get that across a group of individuals? And it's interesting to me because I've never thought or never understood the reasoning behind this. And it's really starting to unlock it. And I've always questioned, well, why do teams go away and go through these militant style style components and do all this hardcore training at the start. Like, I mean, I smashed my boys in preseason, but I've never done a full militant style, and I've always gone, oh, well, what's it about? You know, and it's interesting, the deeper I dive into team culture and understanding doubt and understanding honesty and understanding trust in individuals, you see that those environments where individuals are challenged to breaking point and pushed to limits, where they create judgment on each other's, 1, output, 2, honesty, 3, how much they're going to give to the team, you know whether you're in a good point or not a good point. And if you can get a group of individuals to be so mentally strong that their physical output goes through the roof of their expectations of each other, so that they come out of, say, a training block and realize that this guy's my brother, not because we're family, but because he has my back no matter what is coming, then you'll unlock a different performance. And it's so funny because I've once experienced this in my life in a team that was the complete opposite of professional sport. You know, in the early 2000s, I was lucky enough to play for a Samoan village team. You know, it was called Malisi, and it was a bunch of boys who just got on, you know, and it was funny because we all backed each other. And it wasn't created in this blood, sweat and tears environment, but it was created because we were in a team that was completely different from everyone else. So from the get-go, we were looked at different, we were treated different, we were, you know, laughed at behind scenes and stuff like that. So our backs were up against the wall. And that made us, that if you put on the green and white, you were blood, because you have nowhere else to go. You've got nowhere else to go. Like, that's your only sense of belonging. And we formed one of the greatest sides that I've ever been able to play with, that I think could challenge many of, you know, a top rugby side, purely on the basis that every single player that went out on that weekend in those competitions emptied the tank and had nothing else to give. Yes, we did some things right. Yes, we did some things wrong, but no one cared. We were held accountable to our performance, because if you didn't, you got laughed at, and you know that's embarrassing. So you give it your all, and you were held accountable by the fact that you were a misfit. You know, especially being, you know, a white fella. There was Indigenous white, PNG, Tongans, Samoans, Fijians. You know, that's probably only a crust of them. We probably had, you know, South Africans. You know, it's different. Everyone's different. Māoris, the whole kit caboodle in this one team that was playing in an exclusive kind of comp, but showed that there's no boundaries to a belonging and no boundaries to brotherhood. And it really hits home with me around this honesty thing, because we had to be honest with each other on who we were, how we were going to give, what we could give on the field, because there was no other options. And you know, you go to these club games and everything now, and you get rep sides and you see this, and guys come together, and there isn't that sense of belonging. They're not a part of something bigger than the actual team, you know. So you've got to create that. And how do you create that? There's a few ways. You can either put people through hell, or you can get them to find their sense of belonging, or you can create something outside of the rugby that brings people together. And you know, I've seen it happen in a few different manners. And for me, in professional sport, or moving into that hierarchy, you need the mixture of the first two. You need a mixture of pushing people to limits that they've never had before, and getting them to buy into each other, that through each other is the only way for them to succeed, and then giving them a sense of belonging, that they're special because they're a part of that group and not another group. And when you combine those things with pure honesty, you know, if you don't miss a rep, man, stand up for it. Say, bro, I missed a rep. Is that okay? And the team will choose. You are like the team's judge and jury. They'll say, nah, man, finish your reps. Or they'll go, you know what, bro, you've given everything today. Make it up next time. Don't let it happen again. And that's honesty. You know, that's a huge part of team culture. So guys, that's just, you know, my thoughts on honesty in a team environment, because it's not individual honesty. It's not given, it's earned. So if you got any questions around this, or, you know, even thoughts of your own, because this is a hugely, you know, perspective difference kind of topic, flick some comments down, throw a feedback video, give me something. And guys, you know, I look forward to being able to throw out some more in the near future. Thanks guys. Peace.